Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hello everyone, welcome back for another quick battle video. Today I'm squatted up with Wisconsinite Eric again. This time for a tank battle. This time, this was me in my high-tier British squad, or a high-tier British tank lineup rather, and he was in his high-tier American lineup. So he's starting in his M103, I'm starting out in my Chieftain Mark III, and we're pressing towards the... We decided we were going to press the B point, while the rest of our team was going for the C point to try and at least contest it, if not stop the enemy from taking it and take it ourselves up at B. So you're not getting the live comms because somebody jumped into our chat while we were in the middle of recording this video and started talking over the top of us, so I just re-recorded all the audio from a replay, so that's why you get post-commentary. You can see our chat going on the screen, but you won't hear us talking to each other, unfortunately. Now you'll notice somebody over at C, an M56, is rushing the C point by himself, and you'll notice there are 4 more teammates coming up behind him at the C point. Now, 2 more of them will make it into the cap and get spawn points, but 5 of them should have. So that's something that you want to pay attention to when you're playing. It's not always possible on every map to wait for everybody to get to you at a capture point, but it's definitely something you want to watch for. And a map like this, you can do it. The enemy team is not ever going to contest the C point from the spawn, so you can wait for everybody. Now the B point here, this 94 KMZIS 12 racing up to the B point, I'm okay with that. We were going to make it into the point in time anyways, thankfully, but I'm alright with him racing up here and trying to take the B point and away from the enemy and stop them from getting it first and starting a ticket bleed. It doesn't work out for him, he gets killed by artillery, but it was a good idea. Eric and I both make it up into the B point in time to get in on the capture. There's the ZIS 12 getting killed. We get the capture, we're moving up to hold the line against the enemy, and I just get hit about 7 times here. So, I'll come back in my Sea Fury. Eric has taken a couple guys out and then gets taken out himself, and he's going to respawn in his jet fighter, an F9F. So on my way into the battle here to provide some rocket-armed CAS for the friendly forces. You can see our team is in a pretty good line across both the C and B points. Not really contesting any at the moment, which is alright, because we don't really need to. Coming in for this Leopard here that had initially been destroyed. Going to make a flight over and spot another Leopard down below me there, and I'm going to turn around and come back for him. You can see Eric back there in the background, coming in his F9F. So I'm going to roll in and line up on the Leopard that I spotted, mark him initially with cannon fire, and then make a rocket pass on him. Now I clouded out my own target here and didn't actually get any good hits on him with the rockets, but then Eric came in and took him out, and I was able to get a teamwork. So, it's alright. Now, off in the distance, coming in from the enemy air spawn, is a Horton. So he'll be a factor in the battle in a moment. He came in, went past us, and Eric and I were able to turn around and get ourselves facing back towards the battle here. So I'm trying to line up and get some cannon hits on that Gepard there to light him up for the team, because he's the biggest threat to Eric and I right now besides the Horton. The Horton we can deal with, but while we're dealing with the Horton, the AAA becomes a real big problem. So I'm coming back around to try and get some altitude to make a diving rocket pass on the Gepard. And Eric is being chased by the Horton, so I'm going to try and clear the Horton off his tail for him, mostly just by firing tracers in front of the Horton's cockpit and hoping to scare him off, not really expecting to hit him too much here. And he does eventually roll off, and then I'm able to roll in and make a rocket attack, a little too high for the Gepard, but I spy a pair of enemy tanks here and get them both. I was out of ammo pretty much at that point, so I'm going to head home and RTB and reload, so we'll fade out and come back in after I've taken off again. Just in time to see Eric get a double bomb kill on a pair of Leopards with his P-47. He'd run out of ammo and taken too much damage, so he'd jade out and come back in his P-47 to return to the CAS for the team, and did pretty well there. and then a moment later gets a rocket attack kill on a Whirlwind. So helping us out as well in our CAS assets. And definitely helping out that Halifax up there above us too. So our team, we've lost B while I was back on the airfield landing. Our team is now taking it back. It's some good work there. And I'm on my way back in with a fresh load of rockets to see what I can see. I'm going to head in towards B because it is the most contested point at the moment. And Eric was talking about there being a Kugelblitz down near B, so I'm keeping my eyes out for him. Zoomed in, I see somebody moving, I'm going to roll in on him. It's not the Kugelblitz is just beyond the sky. But it is a Type 61, and I'm able to take him out. Right behind the Type 61 was the Kugelblitz that Eric was able to roll in and destroy, so 2 threats dealt with at B, and our team is holding B pretty well. I've got 4 rockets left, coming in and lining up on whatever I can see. Spot an enemy here, start laying them up with my cannons, and I start taking some massive hits from something behind me. And it's a D-13 that just utterly destroys my Sea Fury. But 3 kills and an assist and a Sea Fury, that's not too bad. 3 kills and 2 assists. So I decided to come back in the Carnarvon and move up to B and just hold the B point, because the enemy's not really threatening the C point. So B is kind of the key to this battle, as it usually is to this map on Domination at least. Trying to cover our poor Halifax and give Eric some support back there from that 219, but the 219's cannons are just way too much for a Halifax to deal with. Unfortunately, not much I could do, hoping for a lucky shot more than anything. Now Eric starts getting lit up by all the world's AAA here, as well as a D-13. We've got friendly AAA firing back at the D-13, but it's just a little bit too late. Now the D-13 can't do too much against me. I know he doesn't have bombs from seeing him in the replay shooting me down, so I'm just going to roll on up to B and continue with the plan of holding B with the Carnarvon here. Eric, in the meantime, is going to come back in a spare F9F. Our team is now taking the A point. I can't get there in time, so I'm just going to continue on in between A and B and hold down the fort against enemy counterattacks, trying to take either point back from us. Eric has finished off that pesky D-13, who did really well, by the way. He ends up with 4 air kills, the D-13, so good work to him. Whammy. I've spotted some enemies here, over the hills. Type 87, and a couple of dead Japanese tanks. Stug that's up here at one point. There's all kinds of enemies left. They're all trapped back at their spawn, which I generally really do not like to do, but I don't exactly remember why I went in the spawn this time. Normally I refuse and I hold back. This battle was from back at the end of May 21st in fact, so I don't really remember exactly why I was in there chasing them down. Except I might have just been angry at the way the battle was going, although it was going really well. Now this guy, I'm going in to take him out because he's AAA, and I've got teammates up in aircraft, so that's why I'm going to press in right now, but I don't initially remember why I decided to come in. There's definitely an enemy. Enemy aircraft there in a Japanese Sabre. As well as a ME-410 rather. So I'm trying to get some anti-air 30 cal machine gun hits on the Sabre, which the turret in the Carnarvon just cannot turn fast enough to deal with that. It was actually kind of funny. But Eric is in on him tight, so I'm going to roll in and work on the AAA to support my air assets. Now, for some reason, that didn't do a whole lot of damage. And for some other reason, my shots going through all the ammo racks there didn't do a whole lot of damage either. But finally, with the third shot into the crew, that's that. And all's fair, his squad mate respawns a second later in a Tiger 2 and takes me out, which is just as well, because I shouldn't have been in their spawn. But all's fair. So, I'll come back in the Halifax trying to get in and just carpet bomb their spawn as the tickets are going to run out. And the game just takes forever to load me back in. So by the time I can actually get loaded back in and get the Halifax into a dive and get speed up, they're going to run out of tickets. But, as you will see coming up shortly, the squad of myself and Eric was a pretty big contributing factor in this battle to our victory. It was not just us, by any means, but we had a lot to do with it. The team did really well holding the B point there and taking it back when the one time we did lose it, so big credit to everybody. Just as I get lined up on their spawn, the tickets run out. But I dropped all the bombs anyway. Not that we would see them hit. But that's that. So as you can see, I ended up with four tank kills and a capture. Eric had 8 tank kills, 2 air kills, and a capture himself, and a first and a second place on the team. Here's all the kill rundowns. And Eric very nearly finished off the Japanese Saber right at the end of the battle, and there's all the mission awards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I look forward to bringing you another video soon. Thank you guys for checking this one out. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time for some more War Thunder. Have a great day, and thanks for checking this one out.